Broadcasting live from somewhere in the Shadow Realm, this is YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Here's your host, Dimmaduel.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Today we're going to take a look at strategies on how to farm a level 40 Weevil Underwood. Now, I know you're sitting there wondering, well, what's the point of farming Weevil Underwood? What's the point of trying to maximize my rewards? Well, there's some pretty good rewards that you could get when farming Weevil. Some of them can be used in different decks here, but I know one of the more sought-after cards is the level 3 Cocoon of Evolution. It's a level 3 insect with 0 attack and 2,000 defense. It's just an all-around good, just a good defense monster to use in stall decks and to use in I guess some of those decks where you're doing a lot of burn damage and you just want to keep a high defense monster out there to keep your opponent from hitting you with some life point damage. So that's one that's highly sought after too. You got the Skullmark Ladybug, which was level 4 insect with 500 attack, 1500 defense. That when it's sent to the graveyard, you increase your life points by 1,000 points. And me personally, I like Grass Chopper because I'm still kind of interested on the fence with different Gemini decks. And this is a Gemini monster. It's a level 5 Gemini insect, 2350 attack, 1000 defense. Its Gemini effect, once it's normal summoned, is this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. So I kind of like that effect. There's a few good rares in here, like Kaseitai, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's the level 2 Fiend, 300 attack, 800 defense. When your opponent's monster attacks this card in face down defense position, this card becomes an equipped spell card equipped to the attacking monster. No damage calculation is conducted, and during each of your opponent's standby phases, increase your life points by half of the attack of the monster equipped with this card. So this one is just another good life point booster that's, you really don't have to do too much work to continue to get that stuff, especially if it's a strong monster that your opponent wants to keep on the field and not use as tribute or something like that. You're going to get some kind of benefit out of it, and as long as you have other stall cards, this card can come into handy to help keep boosting your life points. And I see that one coming to play a lot with 3-star demotion decks potentially, because you want to keep on boosting your life points so you can keep reusing that effect. So anyway, that's interesting to see. So now what I want to do is just discuss a deck that I put together to farm Weevil. On average, I'll tend to get assessment scores somewhere between 6,800 and 8,300, just depending on the situation here. But basically, the name of the game is, it's really just your classic Mythical Beast Cerberus deck, where you're going to have 3 monsters in your deck, and the rest are going to be spell cards. The skill that I use is Draw Sense Light, because odds are you're not going to get the card or the monster that you're going to need on the field within your first turn, because 17 out of your 20 cards are spell cards and not monsters. So what Draw Sense does is if you take 1,500 or more life point damage, you can activate this effect and you will draw 1 random light monster from your deck. So with Mythical Beast Cerberus as the only light monster in your deck, you know exactly what you're going to get. So you're going to get that Mythical Beast Cerberus out of your deck, and then you'll be able to play it and start activating spell cards. You could run the whole gambit, different spell cards that you could just use in any situation. That way, the attack of Cerberus keeps boosting, because each time a spell card is activated, you place 1 spell counter on this card when that spell card resolves, and Mythical Beast Cerberus gains 500 attack for each spell counter on it. So, and it starts with a 1,400 attack and 1,400 defense, but that attack just keeps on going up. So basically what you do is you leave Mythical Beast Cerberus on the field, potentially 2 Mythical Beast Cerberuses on the field, and just keep on accumulating their attack, keep on boosting it as high as you can. So what I end up doing is activating numerous spell cards. I have multiple copies of Shard of Greed, because it's a spell card that you can activate, and it'll also help you get more draw power and run through your deck a lot quicker to get to your final attack. Then I run cards like Soul of the Pure, stuff that I could use in any turn, which increases my life points by 800 points. It's not necessary, but you could just use cards like this that you could activate for any reason. I also activate a copy of Yami, so it's a field spell card, and since it affects Fiend and Spellcaster type monsters, well, Mythical Beast Cerberus is a Spellcaster type monster, so you're able to use all of that. I run multiple copies of Stop Defense. That way, if there's a monster face down in defense position, I'll be able to flip it face up. Now, the thing with Weevil is that there's really not a whole lot of a threat of any cards in the back row, any spell or trap cards that are really going to change the game for you, or that's going to stop your combo from happening. The reason why I like to run copies of Stop Defense is because he's going to be keeping his monsters in defense the whole time. Basically, once your Mythical Beast Cerberus gets past a really high attack, so at least what you're able to do is, I guess, just in certain situations when he puts a card face down in defense position, you're able to flip it face up, and you could take advantage of cards like YuGiOh, which you target one face up monster, so you would target one of the monsters on the other side of the field, cut that monster's attack in half, and take half of that attack yourself, just until the end of the turn. So, and that's another option as well. What I like to do is also use Pot of Benevolence, because there will be some cases where maybe you have to use a spell card that you don't necessarily want to use right away. So what Pot of Benevolence does is shuffle that card from your graveyard back into your deck. And also too, if you're ahead of the game so well, and Weevil is kind of running low on cards, you could use Pot of Benevolence to restock Weevil's deck with 2 cards as well, or even just 1 card, whatever. But you're able to basically keep your opponent from decking out. So this serves 2 purposes. You can only use 1 Pot of Benevolence per turn, so use it wisely depending on the situation, but you are able to use this card and take full advantage of it. So anyway, those were just some ideas of some of the spell cards that I like to use in the deck to help boost Mythical Beast Cerberus. So here's where we get to how you end up getting the high assessment score. Is you need a copy of Gravekeeper's Vassal. It's a level 3 spellcaster with 700 attack, 500 defense. Any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is treated as effect damage instead. Now this is important because with your assessment score, you get an extra 1,000 assessment points just for inflicting solely effect damage and not doing any actual battle damage. So that's also another booster, which is why you're able to get such a high assessment score. So basically the combo is you have your Mystical Beast Cerberuses out there. They got a really high attack by the end of the duel. Say you're on your last card, you have no cards left in your deck. Here's what you want to have in your hand. You want to have the following. You want to have Union Attack, which is a super rare spell card. I'll get into what it does in a second. You like to run a copy of Fairy Meteor Crush, which allows you to inflict piercing damage. It's an equipped card. And in my case, I like to also have 2 copies of YuGiOh, just because. I mean, it's not necessary, but I just have it anyway, just to keep on boosting the attack of my monsters. So, having those cards at least in your hand allows you to do the following. You're able to start taking the attack of your opponent's face-up monsters using YuGiOh. I like to just transfer it all to Gravekeeper's Vassal. It doesn't matter who you transfer it to, because at the end of the day, you have to then activate Union Attack. What this does is you target one face-up monster you control, add up the total attack of all other face-up attack position monsters you currently control, then during the battle phase of this turn only, the monster gains that much attack, but cannot inflict battle damage to your opponent. Also, other face-up attack position monsters cannot attack. So that's exactly why we use Gravekeeper's Vassal in this case, is because Union Attack prevents you from inflicting any battle damage. But it doesn't say anything about not inflicting effect damage, which is why this works. So what you do is you activate your Union Attack, then attach Fairy Meteor Crush to your Gravekeeper's Vassal. What this does is allow you to inflict piercing damage to whatever monster Weevil has with that's sitting in defense position. Usually it's Grass Chopper, which has a 1,000 defense. So by the time, say for example, you're sitting there with 2 Mythical Beast Cerberuses at maybe around 7,000 to 8,000 attack each by the end of your duel, your total attack is going to be well over 14 to 15,000 in attack once they all add up and hit Gravekeeper's Vassal. So that 14, 15,000 minus the 1,000 defense for Grass Chopper doesn't matter. It's over 9,999 damage. So you're going to get 3,000 assessment points for hitting over 9,999. That's the name of the game. So there are other ways to take advantage of this. If you don't have Union Attack, I know it's a very rare card to get, but that's why this card is crucial for farming. But either way, there's the other method too, where you could just keep on racking up your mythical beast Cerberus's attack, keep on raising it as high as you can, and then just do actual battle damage by taking advantage of a stop defense, flipping the other monster to attack position, taking advantage of those Ruriokus as well. You could do it that way, but I like to do things the Gravekeeper's Vassal way because of you inflicting effect damage instead of inflicting battle damage. So, all in all, that's just one of the main methods on farming Weevil. So it's worked out very well for me so far. It's been a 100% success rate. Now, sometimes I've been able to get over 8,000 assessment points. Sometimes I've only hit, my lowest point was about 6,800, but I'll usually get in the 7,000 range. So you'll get, and I know there's more effective ways to get higher assessment scores, but this is where I'm at right now. This will just give you a good background. But, that's the basic gist of it. So, I guess just to reiterate, the whole name of the game is the Mythical Beast Cerberus. Use the Draw Sense Light skill so that you're able to get a Mythical Beast Cerberus, run a whole bunch of spell cards, and then at the end of the day, set up your combo with Gravekeeper's Vassal with a Union attack and possibly a Fairy Meteor Crush to inflict piercing damage, and then you'll be able to just commit a whole bunch of effect damage to your opponent and just reap the rewards. And also, too, keep in mind, when you're doing these farming decks, play some glossy cards, play some prismatic cards. You will get extra bonus points for doing that. Now, I don't run any prismatic cards in this deck because I don't really have any that would really fit into this deck, because I seem to not be so lucky with prismatic cards. I do have a few glossies in here, so I do get, I think it is 300 points or something for playing a glossy card. So, I mean, every point adds up. But yeah, that's kind of the name of the game here. So hopefully this helps you in your endeavors of farming Weevil. Hopefully you can get the cards that you want. I think I'll start doing a few more farming deck type of strategy podcasts in the future. If you want to hear more about this kind of thing, definitely let me know on Twitter. You could reach out to me at YuGiOh Deck Talk. It's all one word, at YuGiOh Deck Talk. And I'd love to do a few more of these podcasts, but if you don't like it, I'll stop. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.